Are you sure we're live?
Yeah. It took like a split second longer
Took
to
a little
say we're
beat.
live. Yeah, I know.
All right, we're live here for Xfinity Ass Junior at Dirty Mo Media with my good friend TJ Majors. Andrew's here as well. Appreciate all y'all tuning in, and thank you Xfinity. We know booming speeds when we see it, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming like the roar of a NASCAR engine. It's the power and speed of NASCAR in your home. Choose the right plan for you, and you're off to the races with the best streaming experience for all your favorite sports. Because Xfinity Wi-Fi is truly booming. They don't just raise the bar; they stream in overdrive, and they're a proud premier partner of NASCAR and a great partner here of ours at Dirty Mo Media. So let's get right to the questions.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the, I think, most popular question of the week. You, Dale, certainly stirred up a lot of interest, curiosity with the picture from Luke Combs's new music video. So
Yes.
What was it like? What can you tell us from that?
Well, basically, Luke texted me and said, "Hey, man, I'm going to do this music video for this song." He sent me the song. He said, "Would you want to be in it?" I said, "Yes, absolutely." And so we started talking about the, what we would do, where we would do it. They thought, man, let's get a next-gen car and go to Charlotte Motor Speedway. And so we looked around, and there weren't really any next-gen cars available for us to use. And so I said to Luke, I was like, why don't we, the song's about getting back in the saddle and getting, kind of a little bit of a comeback story or, kind of like a veteran going back to his roots even. And so I thought, man, let's go to a short track and let's take one of the late model stock cars. This will be great to shine a light on grassroots racing, to shine a light on late models. So we went to Tri-County Motor Speedway, which is about an hour and 15 minutes from the house. We wrapped two of our late model cars identically. So we'd have one car with all the windows out of it and a bunch of cameras mounted all over it, and then another car that looked, clean and you could film the car from a distance. Luke gets up in the grandstands and walks around the track, and they filmed us in the tunnel and doing all kinds of other stuff. And then he's up in the flag stand, and I'm making laps. And I'm racing at Tri-County later this year. So I thought, I want to go somewhere where I can get some laps. And
Smart.
yeah. So I ran, we ran, and I followed a camera car around the track a little bit. We got some shots that way. And then I ran some relatively hard laps in the car with the cameras mounted all over it. And then I put on, I got my car ready and set up, put on a set of tires, and went out there and ran probably 25 really hard laps.
All right.
So that, and then they filmed Luke up in the stands, and Richard Petty's in this as well. He kind of comes in at the end, and he's like, "Hey, my turn. I want to run. I want to drive." And so, pretty neat, man. I was honored to be asked to do it, and I'm thankful that that Luke and his team thought of me and Richard, and included us in this project. So pretty cool, pretty awesome opportunity. Look, I think it's out Friday.
Yeah.
I look forward to what people's reaction is to it. And, yeah.
It's not your first music video, though. You've been in a few more, right?
Yeah, but it feels like it's been a while since I've been involved in one.
You said originally they wanted a next-gen car. You're going to Charlotte. So, how much creative freedom was it like you and Luke kind of planning this music video? Or there was, did he have a director? No, this is how I want to do it? How much creative freedom did you guys have?
It's pretty much whatever he and I wanted to do.
Wow.
It felt like.
That's cool.
Yeah. So, Luke's like, hey, whatever Dale wants is great. I'm glad he's doing it. And so, I've never driven a next gen, and I never will be racing in a next gen car in my life. And so having me in a next gen running around a racetrack at Charlotte talking about back in the saddle, people are going to go, well, that's bullshit.
Yeah,
they're going to go, man. Yeah, they're gonna go, man. This is bullshit.
You want to run the Roval, don't you?
This ain't. Yeah.
Is this an announcement?
He wants to run the Roval.
Yeah,
I knew it.
Yeah, they're gonna go. Oh, is he really? Is this bullshit? They're gonna be disappointed more than anything. And so I thought, well, let's do something realistic because I do run 4 or 5 late model races.
I like the rumors
year.
you going cup racing better. Those are more fun.
Not for me.
I enjoy it.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't seem to make people happy when they find out it's not true.
Well, still,
So-
the ride's fun.
Yeah.
We're gonna have
TJ likes to make people miserable, I guess.
Just you sometimes. It makes it. I mean, it's equal. I mean, you do your fair share. So
Yeah. You're right.
title of today's podcast is gonna be Dale's back in the saddle. It's gonna get people.
already,
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Big announcement.
Yeah. So that anyways, I'm excited for people to see it. It's out Friday.
Have you seen the
Thank you
video
to-
itself? The full.
Yeah. Yes.
Oh, wow. All right.
Yeah. Blew your mind there.
Oh, that's cool. You just I'm so curious. Like you've got.
Well, it's ready. It's coming out Friday, so it's done.
Yeah.
I know.
And,
I'm a big Luke Combs fan, so
I could tell.
I know.
any information I can get.
Calm down, Andrew.
Sorry.
Yeah.
Jeez, you're glazing. It's crazy.
Yeah.
All right, this is a good time for the next question. Someone saw on Twitter, Dale, after Connor's win, the rain shortened win, you already had a beer and pickles in your hand, and they wanted to know, is this going to be the new standard for Victory Lane? Are you going to be double fisting with the beer and pickles moving forward?
So there's an orchard about 2 hours from Dover that I get pickles from. They do not ship, so it's hard to get them. You have to either know somebody who's passing through or you got to go get them yourself. A race fan knows that I like these, and they brought them to the racetrack, and she was behind our pit during the race. I was on top of the one box during the race, listening to Carson Quapple and his team. And she's like, hey, she's tweeted at me, I brought pickles to the track. I was like, well, I'd love to meet you. And she come to the pits, and she's like, hey, pickle lady here. So
Jeez.
I got the pickles, and I just hung on to them, and we won the race. The 1 box and the 8 box are side by side on pit road, and in between them is Victory Lane.
Oh, easy.
And so, yeah, I'm standing down on pit road with Marty Lindley, the crew chief of the 88 for Connor Zillage. And we're talking about what we're going to do if we go back to green. Do we pit for tires? Do we wait and save our tires? Well, they called the race, and so I just walked right into Victory Lane because that's where everybody's going. Well, the guys, they had all this bush lights stacked up perfectly in these pyramids, right? So it would be a nice backdrop for the driver getting out of the car. There's these guys in there, and they're unstacking all this beer and putting it in these big beer coolers. And I'm like, all right, they're moving Victory Lane to another location, which would be the Cup Garage. And they're putting all this beer in these coolers and wheel them over there. But I just grabbed a beer. I was like, I'm going to just take one now. And so I grab a beer, and I'm walking down pit road to get to the Cup Garage to Victory Lane where they're going to have it. And I had the pickles and the beer. And so that's how that happened.
Have you tried the pickles yet?
Yeah, I was gonna say, were you?
Oh,
eating them
I
at
eat
Victory
the I eat the pickles all the time.
Okay.
So, I mean, it's not like we've talked about it on this show.
Thank you, pickle lady.
But Butler's Orchard.
Lane? Yeah. Yeah. They sound familiar.
They have
But they don't
it's a
ship.
farm. It's a farm, probably 2 hours west of Dover, and they don't ship. And I wish they did, but I'd buy a case of pickles every couple of months probably if they'd ship them to me.
I think that's kind of cool though, because like you gotta go. It's a special trip. You're making a trip out of getting your pickles.
All
You're
right.
excited. You're waiting for it.
He's not driving 2 hours
That's
west.
true. That's true.
I'm
Yeah. Go ahead.
not. No,
We're gonna move on.
I don't
All
agree.
right.
I don't agree with that.
What? No, I actually had there's different orchards people go to that you can only get it
Look,
there.
Yeah.
I
It's
do
like,
wanna-
that's what makes it cool. I think.
I do want to go there.
See?
I do. I want to go there because there's probably more awesome shit that they do that I don't know about.
Exactly.
But I would like a couple freaking jars of pickles in the mail, and that's not too much to ask.
That's true. Poor Connor can't. Obviously, he can't drink yet, so maybe you can
Yeah.
bring the pickles to the next beer toast, and it's just a pickle toast, until he turns 21.
Yeah.
All right.
Next question.
Yeah, it was worth a shot. Speaking of Connor's win, you guys at JRM are closing in on 100 company wins. What would it mean to get to that big 100 milestone?
Well, I hope we can do it at Indy, but I just read yesterday that Larson's driving the 17, so that job got a little tougher.
I thought you
But
guys wanted another shot at him.
We do, but I will admit that he is a very good race car driver and a good race car. The next handful of races, there's a couple obligations that I've got that would make it tough to get there. So, like, let me see.
So you're going to St. Elmo's over the Xfinity race. I got you.
No. I'm saying I'll be at
Oh, the
Indy.
toast. I got you. Or the race. Which one are you talking about? The
Yeah.
toast or the race? The race?
I'm talking about the race,
Yeah,
to
okay.
be there, to be in victory lane, to enjoy this moment. And I've got to figure out what to do about this, but we have a family trip planned on one particular weekend in the coming future. That is not just my family, but it's multiple families together. So, I've got the Budweiser Cars Tour race coming up. There's a Bass Pro Shop Cars Tour race coming up. Yeah, so I don't know.
Yeah, you're missing
I would
it.
hope. No, I hope that I don't.
Wow. Debbie Downer right there.
We're winning
Way to
this.
hit him.
Yeah.
Carson
Yeah.
Quapple's
Sorry.
going to win this weekend, damn it.
I hope somebody wins this weekend. Just because I'm there,
What-
we can do it.
What would it mean?
And
though?
Indy, holy
Be
shit!
big.
Yeah, that'd be huge.
Yeah.
Kiss the bricks.
What would 100 wins mean for you?
I don't
and
know
Kelly?
if they let us. I don't know if they let us kiss the bricks in the Xfinity Series.
I think they do.
They do.
Is anybody going to stop
Yeah.
I
you?
believe so.
Yeah, I think you do.
Yeah, I think I remember one year when Justin won, and they didn't allow us to do it.
Huh.
Yeah.
I thought at least the Indy Xfinity races I've been to, they've kissed the bricks, but maybe they've
I think-
stopped with
I
that
think it's-
tradition.
Well, no, I think it might be something that happens with just the driver
Possibly.
after all the
Oh.
media's over with and everything else. But it's not like get the team out there like the Cup deal.
Mm.
It should be, though.
Yeah, I
It
agree.
should be. Hell yeah, it should be.
Should be.
Especially if it's a company's 100th win. We'll see.
Well, maybe you can make an exception.
I don't know. I can't just do what I want.
You know a guy.
Okay.
What would this win mean for you and Kelly, though, and the family and the organization?
Well, I just you never thought you never thought you'd win 100 races. You just wanted to win one, and so it's pretty emotional, honestly, to think about not only the number of wins, but the names on that list, the drivers that were part of that list. Pretty epic list of drivers to have driven our cars and won races in them over the years.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the problem. That the number's awesome. I love the names on that list because there's some badasses on there.
Absolutely. Even just this year, the amount of different drivers that have won for JRM in this season, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
to go see where they've gone in their career, you guys are it's a truly building block for a lot of great Cup talent. That is pretty neat. This next question is for TJ, but Dale, I am curious to hear your opinion on this. It's from Danny. TJ, how much do you talk about the driver on Channel 2?
Oh, nowadays or
Talk
back
shit.
in the day?
Yeah, right.
I
Exactly.
can-
That's what I
hey.
want to know. Yeah.
He talks shit about them.
There's no proof of that. There is no proof of them digitals back in the day.
Did you talk shit about Dale on Channel 2 back in the day?
Not bad. Just
Not bad.
not really. Not as bad as
But
like
you
what
did.
he would do on Channel 1. But I just be like, I'm done talking to him. Like I just be like, this. I was pretty nice about it. I said a lot of stuff, but I didn't use any channel. I would just not push the button and say what I wanted to say.
Just into
yeah,
the-
you
into the
gotta get it out at some point. But
Right.
I never really used channel 2, you know, not like what an idiot, he missed that corner. You know what I mean? Like there was just like, I mean, it was just mostly when he get done yelling, I'd just be like, I'm done talking to him. Like he's yours now. You can talk to him. I'm done.
Were the buttons between channel 1 and channel 2 far enough away where you wouldn't accidentally hit one
Yeah,
and
have you
hit 2?
accidentally? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you don't. Channel 1's on a button that you hold. Channel 2, you actually gotta.
Okay.
So it's
pretty easy.
Yeah,
to
you
discern.
can't. You don't really mix it up. But I was really actually pretty good. There was a couple times where I mean, literally it was just frustrated at him when he would get mad. But I'm glad it was on a digital because there's nobody heard it, but the team or the crew chief, and
Yeah.
it was better that way.
Dale, now the question for you is, how much shit talking do you think happened on Channel 2 when you were driver?
Well, once I learned that it was going on a little bit with a particular crew chief, it made me very concerned, that it was consistently, like, how long had this been going on?
Right.
Right. And then now, like, I'm like, oh, I don't know. It just really, once you learn, I'll say this, as a driver, when you learn that there's even one negative word said about you on the other channel, that's the end of the relationship. It just, if you hear, and TJ as a spotter has to be careful. And the crew chief also has to be careful when they communicate to the driver outside of the car, because they can't give that, you can't slip up and give that impression that somebody's talking shit,
Yeah.
on the other channel.
Yeah, for sure.
And man, because it really frays that relationship and trust. So if I think, man, when things aren't going well, my crew chief's talking shit about me or complaining about me, or like, why is he doing that? Why'd he do that? Why is he running there? Tell him this.
Oh yeah, there was a lot of, I actually had his back one time that we had stayed out and we were on old tires and everybody blew by us at Fontana, and I mean, it was one lap. We went from the outside front row to 20th, and the crew chief was like, why don't you tell them, let everybody go by? And I'm like, really? I mean, we're just trying not to get wrecked right here. So I just told him, like, why don't you keep up telling them yourself?
Ooh, yeah.
And I never heard anything after that. But, I mean, we're out there like trying literally not to get wrecked, and like,
Yeah.
it didn't sit well with me.
How long did you go, Dale, before you found out about Channel 2? How long was that?
I think it probably may have been almost a half a year.
He would make comments
Not-
during the race when something would go, he'd do something or it was not great, and he'd be like, I bet you're talking about that on Channel 2. Like,
Yeah.
How did you find out about it?
Uh,
I don't even remember.
I mean, I think TJ told me eventually.
I might have. We would talk about it
Yeah.
and on the rides home and stuff and
Yeah.
Things like that. So
I have one more question, TJ. You said when Dale would really piss you off, you would just go quiet. Is that what you would do? Like when was
oh yeah,
and
you
when
ask
was-
him how quiet I got one time.
what was it?
You just quit spotting.
Yeah.
Oh,
I was so
quit
pissed.
doing your
I was so mad. He couldn't make his mind up, and I'm trying to adjust to what he would like at the time, and he's like, don't clear me, because as soon as you say, I'm coming up, and so we were passing a car, and he didn't clear him, so I didn't say anything, and he's like, well, you're not going to tell me he's there. I'm like, you just told me not to tell you, if he was still there or not, and so I got so mad, I quit talking, and he passed another car, and I didn't say anything. He's like, oh, I see how it's going to be now. And I'm like, you damn right. You're going to be clearing yourself for a while. And I got Tony Jr. down there texting me. Are you still up there? I'm like, yeah, I'm here, but I'm not talking. And that was probably the time I got the most mad.
What race was
Yeah.
that?
It's
You guys
Michigan.
remember? Michigan?
COT car, I think, at Michigan. Whenever I don't feel like we were running that bad. He just had his hands full, and he's like, he kept changing his mind, and I got pissed and quit talking.
Yeah.
How many laps do you think it lasted for?
Half a run. I
For-
finally
yeah.
cooled off. It was a little while.
Yeah.
Wow.
Same type of run where he went out and he was so mad in practice that would you run a full fuel run?
Yeah, me and Tony Jr. Oh man, me and was it Tony Jr.?
Oh yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, me and Tony Jr. I don't know if we were arguing before I got in the car or right after I got in the car, but he said something smart assy, pissed me off. And so I just shut up and I ran the car out of gas. Ran like it was like happy hour. It was like an hour long practice or something like that. And I was like, I'm just going to run this some bitch till some bitch runs out of gas. I ran like 44 laps or something.
It was a long way.
I don't know what it was. Yeah.
I'm like, I don't know what we're doing. I just keep giving lap times.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I finally ran out of gas.
That might have been the same weekend. That might have been the same weekend that
it all happened.
Yeah, it might have been the same one.
We were just in a bad mood. Driving a COT will put your ass in a bad mood. I'll tell you that.
It would. He was so angry in the
COT.
Junk.
What a piece of junk that thing. There was a piece of junk race car.
We're leading Atlanta.
Race car. People complain about the next gen every now and then. Holy Lord. That COT was a piece of crap everywhere.
We were leading Atlanta, and he's like screaming on the radio, and I'm like, we're leading the race. What's so bad? Like, he was still mad.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thing was junk. Yeah.
I love these stories. Let's see. This next question coming from Michael. They want to know, how did you initially get connected with Steve Letarte? And they heard there was a team swap that was pitched to you to swap teams with Mark Martin. Is that true?
Yeah. Yeah. So Mark had 1 year left. Mark was doing great. Him and Alan were together, and Mark was doing great. I thought the world of Mark Martin. I'd known Mark Martin since I was a little 5-year-old boy, and Mark was a great teammate and very supportive. And so I'd had some tough years, and we were trying to figure it out. And I was thankful, right, that Rick was gonna keep trying to figure it out and not fire me. And so, I mean, I'd ran bad enough to be fired for sure, no question. But I had a lot of support financially through partnerships and sponsors and popularity and all those things that was kind of keeping me hanging on, right? And I felt like that, in the right situation, I should be able to win, but we just couldn't figure out what that person was, the person I needed on the pit box. And so he was like, well, Mark's got 1 more year with us, and then we're going to bring in Casey Kane. He's like, I'm going to swap you and Mark. And I was like, man, I don't think I want to go a whole year looking across the shop at Mark in the same building, driving his race cars while he's driving mine. And I didn't like the situation I was in, and I didn't think it was fair to take Mark out of something that he was very happy with and put him with something that he saw wasn't really working that well. I just felt like that was going to be bad all around. And not that I didn't want to work with Alan, I did, but I very much wanted to work with Alan, honestly, because I'd seen him do what he did with Mark right there in the shop I was in. So, but I didn't. So I was like, I told Rick, I said, man, I really don't feel comfortable about this opportunity, this change. And so what happened was Jeff Gordon heard about what Rick wanted to do, and I think Rick went to Jeff and said, what do you think? Jeff was like, shit, I'll go drive for Alan. So Rick come back to me just a couple days later, and he goes, hey, Jeff was going to go drive for Alan. I'm going to put you in the 48-24 shop with Letarte. And I was like, now you're talking. I was like, I think in my mind, getting out of that shop and into that environment with Chad Knaus, Jimmy Johnson, they're winning races. Like, get me close to that. Put me right up next to that. I want to see what they're doing, look at what they're doing, learn, lean on what they're doing. The two shops, the 48 and the 24 shop, and they operated so differently than where I was with the 88 and the 5. They just weren't the same culture, and I was like, well, this team's winning. I want to be in that shop with that team, and maybe that'll help me. And I'm not feeling the guilt of put Mark in a bad spot. And so that's what ended up happening. And I felt like, it took the responsibility off of me, and it was like, hey, this is Jeff Gordon's decision to come over here to Allen, and then that's going to put me there, and Mark's going to shift over, and that made more sense.
Yeah.
And I was still nervous about Letarte because him and Jeff had struggled, but I quickly learned immediately. Letarte said, I'm coming to your house. He called me. He goes, hey, I learned that me and you were working together. I'm coming to your house. We didn't know each other hardly. I mean, I knew who he was, but we didn't talk. We weren't friends.
Even like you said in the shops, it was such a difference between the two. You didn't cross paths a ton.
Wow.
Yeah, I barely knew Letarte. He come to my house, and he's like, I mean, this is like all within a couple days, all this happening. He come to my house, and he's like, you're on your last opportunity. If this doesn't work, I think that'll be the end of your opportunity at Hendrick Motorsports, which I agreed with. He said, nobody believes in me either. He goes, Jeff Gordon moved from me to Allen because he doesn't think that this is working. So I feel also like this might be my last chance to get something right. So me and you both are in the same boat. And he's like, we're going to bust our ass. I'm going to ask you to do all kinds of shit, and you're going to do it. And so, it was awesome. I think it changed Letarte as a person and as a crew chief to have that big change happen. And he was one of the first crew chiefs ever after a race to tell me he needed to give me a better car.
Wow.
I mean, I'd never heard that before. Tony Sr. and Tony Jr. built me some badass race cars. But they took every car to the track thinking that car is a winning car. They did. And I love that about them. But Letarte would say, hey, I saw you out there today. I got to make the car better to give you what you need. And I love that because everything wasn't hanging on my shoulders. And anyhow, I could talk about it for days, man. It was awesome. He said, hey, this is your last shot, man. I'm going to give you all this shit you're going to have to do, and you're going to do it. And I said, all right, it's my last shot. I'm going to do all the shit. Everything you tell me to do. I don't care what you tell me to do. I'm going to do it. And he was all in, and we took off from there. We ended up taking our car from we were like, hey, we're going to run this first year, and our goal is to run top 15 because we were that bad. We'd been running 20th every week. So we got our cars to where we were finishing in the top 15, 12th.
We led the points
11th.
for the first half of the year.
I was going to get there.
Sorry.
Then he says, not the first year together. Then he says, all right, man, we're a top 15 car. Now top 10s are our goal. So we did that for a while, 8 or 10 races. We're running top 10 every week. All right, man, we're a top 10 car. Top 5 is our goal. So we turned our car in like a year and a half. We became a top 5 team. We showed up to the track and ran in the top 5 and finished in the top 5. And to TJ's point, we're leading the damn regular season points. I remember that one year we're neck and neck with Greg Biffle. And so all the way through the summer. So it was really cool because Letarte was like, we got this, we're going to have a methodical approach and we're going to just shoot for this. And then when we nail that, we're going to shoot for this and nail that. And we kept setting these goals and reaching them. And it worked. And I was like, all right. It was awesome. So, but that was, if we hadn't have made that change, man, I don't think I would have ever won another race. I just,
Wow.
It was gonna be an ugly grind to the very end.
Was Letarte the first person to tell you that this is your last shot, or was that the first time you've heard it from somebody else?
I think he was the only one that's ever said that to me.
What was it like when you heard it?
He said it. He didn't say it like you think. I mean, he said it in such a way of like, hey, look, I think both of us are kind of on our last opportunity here, or both of us got to make this work. It could be our last chance at being a driver and a crew chief for this company. And I think he said it in such a way it wasn't like, oh shit, the sky's falling. It was more like, look, he's basically saying to me, I'm in the same situation you're in, and I'm willing to do everything to make this work with you. And I'm going to believe in your ass like I think you're the best driver out there on the track. And he did, and he was a cheerleader. Incredible.
That team was also really the team that he built was pretty special,
he
too.
Built, to TJ's point, he put all the right people. And he was talking about this past weekend. I know we're kind of running long, but he was talking about this past weekend. People would come up to him and say, what's your right rear spring rate on the Raider? And he would look at them and go, I don't know. That's a question for Kevin, my engineer. I don't know. And they're like, and people would be, and he's like, I would, but I don't have that answer. Kevin has that answer. And so like Steve was a true modern crew chief that the setup was left to Kevin Meandrin, the engineer, who was incredible. And Kevin set the car up. I talked to Kevin about the balance. I talked to Kevin about what changes I agreed with, or me and Kevin discussed the details around the race car. Steve built the team. Steve improved positions that need to be improved.
Strategy.
Steve did strategy.
Yep.
When we were going to pit, how we were going to do tires, how we were going to do fuel. And Steve was responsible for the team morale and all those things.
Which he
and
was
it was
great
a perfect, it was the perfect build of a race team. Anybody, in my opinion, could have gotten in that situation and succeeded. And I was lucky to finally found the package that I needed to be good. Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
That's a long answer there.
No, but it was great. It was fantastic because I knew you and Steve worked well together, but I didn't know what it was specifically. So I really do appreciate.
We still
you
have a
unpacking
2014 group chat.
Oh, that's cool.
Remember? I mean, they still every once in a while, T-Mac or somebody chimes in.
You got to text it.
Yeah.
You got to text it again. But that was awesome. Great stories today on Ash Junior, and that's where we're going to wrap it up today.
All right. Well, I appreciate it, everybody. Thanks for all the great questions. Thank you, TJ and Andrew, and thank you, Xfinity, for bringing us today's Ask Junior segment. In racing and in life, speed is critical. We all know how important speed is, and we always rely on Xfinity Wi-Fi for the best speeds and dependable internet, and prices locked in for 5 years. No contracts, no slowdowns, no nonsense. Xfinity is a proud premier partner of NASCAR. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Xfinity. And hope you'll tune in to the show later today when it's out. We had a lot of great conversations. We're going to talk to Denny Hamlin, and TJ said a lot of dumb shit. So y'all might want to tune in
good
later.
For that.
All right, we're out.
Time for Dennis. Easy, Trav.